It's day one, and because I had such a late night last night, I decided to start right here behind the cabin and just see if there's anything here before I start driving and checking different spots. So we're gonna start, see if we can see any bucks that might have showed up last night right here. Poured this glass for an hour, and the only thing I found was one doe. And I only saw her because she lifted her head up. I think this grass is just too high, so I'm gonna have to climb up top and get up high and look down, because I won't be able to see them unless they lift their heads up. So when I pack my bags to start hiking, I got a water bladder, I packed some jerky, and then I have MREs all stacked up here. And I take the MREs apart and I take out the snack, the main course, of course the spoon, and then the heater element. Instead of bringing a stove, the pretzels, I won't bring pretzels. Cookies, I won't bring the cookies. But this heater element, the main course, maybe there's peanuts, and that spoon. And now I'll just bring that, and it's lightweight. I don't need an oven or anything like that. This is a peach applesauce. That's pretty good to suck on that to get some sugar. But I'm gonna bring it. And this is orange flavored drink powder. I won't bring that either. So pretty much this and a spoon, and I'll just jam that in one of the compartments in the bag, and some beef jerky to munch on, and I'm good for the whole day. And I'll come out at dark, and that's what I'll do. So we're driving down here. We're going to go down to the canyon and try glass in another spot, but you can see how high this grass is. And those coues, they aren't very tall, so that grass will probably come right about to the top of their backs. If you look to the left here, the road, you can even see that rock wall. So that's why I think I gotta get up high. I'm going to turn right. I'm going to go all the way along the mountain, up around that tall point there. Try looking at a new spot and see if the roads are washed out. And we're trying out the buggy. We'll see if this sucker can make it over some boulders. And that's a problem. So just when you think you almost made it, that happens. And you would think you'd be able to get around it, but that little wash goes all the way up, and it'll go all the way down to the mesquite. So we're gonna have to go down the flat and come around and try a new way. Well, I kind of changed my mind. So I just spent the last half hour collecting rocks and trying to build this up so I can cross that. Might need some more. I think I'm gonna try it anyway. It'll probably be a bumpy ride, but I think we can make it. And then turn hard left right along that edge, and then we're out of here. Driving along the buggy, and look over there. We all see the cow, but look in the shade right below the cow. See her? That's where those sneaky deer hang out. She was probably bedded underneath that tree. Oh, there she goes. think there's no animals. It looks flat, but it's really not. Each one of these little ravines, those animals hide in there. And usually if there's cows, there's deer there too. Looking to see which one of these might be a mean one. Size of that guy. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. What we're looking for right there. See underneath that tree? On the left side of that tree, you might actually have horns. Let's see. We could have a real easy hunt right here. We could be done already. Wow. Boy, that's a tough decision. That's a Coues buck right there. Little tiny one. Little tiny horns. Might be a curved spike. Right up the creek. Wow. Let's go look for a bigger buck. You would think that there's deer up there by those rocks, all these rocky ledges, but that's where they're at. This time of day, after the sun comes up, they climb up real high and get in the shade. And it's all rock slides and little cliffs. Terrible to walk on. It's terrible. It's not nice rolling hills or anything. It's half the time you're climbing rocks to get up there. But that's where we're at. I've seen a couple does. buck's worth chasing after. The last thing you want to do is climb to the top of one of these mountains for a little forkhorn or a spike. So it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And if you can find one, and it's worth going after, then you got to put that strategy together, how you're going to get up there and get a shot without them seeing you, and in a good enough position to where you can see the deer. Because even when you look at it, it looks like it's just nice slopes that go up, but it's not. It's, as you're climbing up, you're going down a rock, and like you don't even know it's there till you're up on it. And it's just like driving on these gravel roads. It just looks like a gravel road, but as you're actually driving, it's going up and down, and it's washed out. It's the same thing when you're climbing these mountains. So I guess it's important not to be in a hurry. Put a good strategy together. A good spot up the road. Somebody took it. They're parked there with a big pickup truck. That's okay. We'll find another one. Hopefully. So it never fails. I found a bachelor group of bucks, and I have them on film here, which is hard to see because of course we're facing the sun. And of course the deer are all the way up there, the tippy top, right where that shade meets that little saddle. There's 3 of them, and hell of a walk. I had to do that. It's uphill the whole way, and I can see on that left slope, it's all in and out and in and out and in and out the whole way up. So I'm gonna watch them for a while, and it's so far away. Got to be over a mile back there, and I'm gonna see if I can catch a glimpse of some horns worth going after. But stay tuned. Well, I talked myself into it. One of the bucks I saw had a rack, and it must have points, but it's so far back there. They're way up there, right in that little saddle. And I'm gonna try to work my way all the way up, and somewhere around here, and maybe I can get a shot up, but I think they're hiding in some trees right now. Maybe they're laying down. If I stay right along this flat area and set up somewhere there, I might stay out of view and be close enough to get a better spot on the one. The one might be a spike or a little one, but the other one I actually saw a main beam. So, but the heat waves, it was too far for me to see how big of a buck he was. So I'm gonna take a walk, get my gear, and see if I can get closer. So I'm a little closer. I just want to show you what looks like grass would be an easy walk. It's not. Because below you, it's boulders. So all that pretty grass is really boulders you're walking on. So as you're walking, this looks like a good place to take a break in this little clearing, but that's the worst place to stop. If you stop for more than 2 seconds, you'll be sorry. Those fire ants will go right on your legs and just attack. So when you see a little clearing like this, keep walking. Well, I'm a lot closer could get to this little rock right here. Where's it at? Right there. And shoot from there to there. But it's still way over 500 yards. So I think I'm going to try to get through the forest and get over to this point. Maybe right there, and shoot from there across. That should be like 300 and some yards if I don't spook them. But I got to get through that. Sitting here for an hour watching that buck. It was one of the two. And we're up there, right in that saddle up top, from down below. And as I was watching him, another one came by right in front of him, started walking and feeding right in front of him. And the rack on him looked a little thicker, so 10-second decision, I decided to shoot the one that was actually standing up and walking instead of waiting for the, I could tell it was a 6-pointer. It was a little 6-point that was sitting there, but I don't even know what the other one was, but the horns just looked thicker, so I decided if they're both 6 points, take the one with the little thicker rack. But that's where they're at, way up there. And that's the same spot we were talking about, from way down there. That's where I spotted them both from. They're about a mile up here. So, but this looks pretty bad. That canyon gets real deep, it gets real steep. And I gotta go down and up to the other side, as usual. But that's where they live. These deer are pretty crazy. They live in the tops of these mountains like this. But that's what you gotta do. Let's go see what happened. So I'm hiking up, and it's steeper than I thought. It's going up and up, and I had these trekking poles, and I had them in my bag, and I was like, I don't need those. It was just more weight. And before I left the buggy, I was like, I'll take them out. And I said, nah, I'll just leave them in there. I'll tell you what, leaning on these on this real sharp angle helps, so you don't have to put your hand on the ground to balance your stuff. It's coming in handy, so I'm glad I brung them. But we still got a ways to go. Looks like a good choice. There he is. And I shot from, see if you can see that little ledge in the sun down there. But it looks like it might be an 8-pointer. Instead of, I was getting ready to shoot that 6. Oh yeah. So, yeah, so there's the shot. It was high in the back. What happened was, let me pause this and I'll turn the camera and tell you what happened. So, I was watching this deer for about an hour. And I was watching another one, a 6-pointer, and this one just got up to the left of it. I didn't even know if that deer was there. And I ranged that deer 5 different times, and the rangefinder said 317, but hold for 253, and I didn't believe it. I did it 5 times, and I didn't believe my rangefinder, so I clicked the gun for 275, and because I didn't think the angle was that steep. But now that I'm up here, this is like crazy steep, and you can see it was a high hit. So trust your rangefinder, because it knows better than you. And you can see how steep this is. You probably can't even tell on camera, but it's like a straight drop right down to that ravine there at the bottom. So let me get this thing all cleaned up, catch my breath, and start some work. Alright, the deer's all cut up and packed in, strapped all in. Hopefully it doesn't wiggle around. It has some little kickers on him. I didn't even realize. Really cool. He got hit pretty good. I mean, I didn't even realize when he got hit right above that rock. There's blood everywhere up there. No need for me to show it, but it's all over the place. I'm walking down, and it looks like it's going to be leveling off soon, but here's why you can't put your hands down. See that? I made it back to the buggy before dark. That's where I was. Right in that middle top up there. We got out.